Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 14, After the Bloodbath of Old School Adventures. I was saying to these fine human beings that I think that having all those characters get killed maybe has damaged some of your sanity just a little bit. I just want to point
Dave
that out.
seems fine.
Yeah, Dave seems fine, totally. So yes, so as usual, I'm joined by Dave, Andrew, Hillary, and a picture of John.
As usual.
So John, the last couple of weeks, John has been really busy on a work project. John is a graphic designer, and he has had a client project that he's been working on pretty hard. So he messaged me the other day and was like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna be able to make it for next episode of OSA. Hope that's okay." And I was like, "Don't worry, man." And he was like, "It's cool. Chunk will just hang out in the tavern." And I was like, "About that, yeah, I'm sorry, John." So, yeah. It's okay. When he gets back, he's got 2 fresh characters he can make up and start on an exciting new adventure.
Yay.
Yeah. So, I feel like we all more or less remember what happened last time. There are...
Some of us don't want to remember, but...
Yeah, there are 3... three living characters, right? We have the Shadow and Nimith decided
It's not
to
so
run...
bad out of the 10 we went in with.
Each of us have a still alive character
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
for now.
Yeah, you haven't wiped the dungeon yet. So, and hey, when you get home, by the time you arrive, there'll be a fresh new hold person spell waiting for you.
Yeah, it'll be so useful.
Nobody to cast it. Yeah.
Well, someone will have to roll up a cleric. There's also a fair pile of experience for whoever gets back.
Oh my god.
I mean, not like that much because this is still Moldvay, but you know, I was saying to Dave earlier too before we got started that it's always frustrating for me as a GM, and not frustrating in a way that I'm like, oh, I wish it wasn't like this, but in a way that's like, oh, you know, like when I was gonna make a sports analogy, but I realized I don't know how. It's gonna be like when you see your favorite sports ball player try to make the sports throw, and they almost get it, and then they miss, and you're like, oh, sports ball player. But like, you know, like I'm rooting for you guys. But then when I'm like, yeah, you see the chieftain, he's got this beautiful jeweled belt on, and he's the only one still alive at the end of the encounter when you all run away. I'm like, oh, the loot, all that XP. But it's fine. I'm sure Nimith and the Shadow can make a couple of stops in some rooms you haven't discovered yet and pick up some gold on the way home, right?
I might not die.
I have 1 hit point left out of
It's
1.
fine. Just kite the whole dungeon back to the keep, and they'll all disappear. It'll be fine.
So to clarify, I'm pretty sure we went into the beginning of last session with 10 characters,
Yes.
and now I'm frozen.
Yes.
That's good. It's good for me.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the. I'll re-up you when you're back, Hillary. So yeah, let's look at the map. So currently, this just for everybody watching at home, for you playing the home game, the players have explored the sort of northeastern cave section, as you can see up here, minus a few areas. You can see this area and this area haven't been explored. And then they've also explored the west caves. This is where the ooze was. We got some ooze action over here. And then lastly, we've got the sort of the majority of the footwork that's been done in terms of pure land mass. The southern caves, the southern reaches here have been mostly explored, save for this area here, this little one right here, and then a couple of sort of smaller offshoots. So also keep in mind too that the players, they can only see the lines. So what we're seeing here, all these numbered rooms and stuff, that's just for me and you, chat. The players still need to explore these areas. And as for where we are right now, we'll zoom in on this particular location. This is the site of last week's bloodbath. These connected rooms here, they're where the doom. They're where the doom came down.
Like, thinking back, that layout of particular rooms and doors doesn't really make very much sense at all. I wonder why it was built that way. I mean,
I
it was.
mean, you know, if we're gonna start criticizing the layout of dungeons in a old school Dungeons and Dragons adventure, we're gonna be here. That'll be the rest of the show forever. Why is it like this? What kind of person would have designed this? The answer is no one.
Yeah.
As someone who occasionally draws little dungeons, sometimes it's just fun to make the lines, you know? You're like, there's an empty space here. What if I put a box and then a door?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
Well, yeah,
this is going to be really useful as a pantry.
So
Well,
I'll say this.
I just wanted to draw a room.
I'll say this about Keep on the Borderlands. In some areas of the dungeon, it is explained why the hallways are the way that they are, right? Like, if we look at the Goblin Cave or the Orc Cave entrance, this little divot here, that's explained by the adventure. It says that in Area G, there's a hole where the orcs put their head on the thing. There was that whole annoying trap thing that didn't really work out. But things like the 10-foot by 10-foot antechamber here that you can circumvent by going around it, not explained. Not even remotely explained at all.
I mean, it worked out for them, so maybe...
Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. But yeah, like this is the Hobgoblin Chieftain's room. This is another room, and then these two. I think these two are both referred to as guard chambers. But like, why? Why would they be like that? I don't know. It doesn't.
Why would the guard chambers be at the back when the only way in is a secret entrance? You don't expect people to fight.
I mean, there is still another.
There's places we haven't gone.
Area you haven't been to yet, but. Yeah. Both areas here, this one, which is area 29, and this area here, which is 31, they're both called guard room and have only a description of what's in them, and not why they're laid out. Tristere suggests that it's obviously a hobgoblin urinal, and it needs to be accessible from both sides because, you know, sometimes the guards have to pee and they don't want to have to go in through the chieftain's room and wake him up in the middle of the night.
It's a shared bathroom. All great.
There you go. Shared bathroom with doors on both sides. It's a walk-in closet.
Walk-in water closet.
So, Nimith and the Shadow, bravely fleeing. Your shirt is terrifying, Andrew. I don't.
That t-shirt is so good.
You're as bad as Colin with that Kappa sticker when we were playing mouse card. So the two of you are on a flight for your life, having just this. So you use the time where poor Bildo was being stabbed to death by the hobgoblins. You use that time to break down this barrier. So the barriers are clear now. And now you can make your escape through the dungeon, and then Thistle, you are attempting to halfling hide right just in the dark from these hobgoblins.
Whee!
So the great thing about halflings, and we've talked about this before, but let's I'm gonna reread the rule for you. The halflings have the natural ability to seemingly vanish into woods or underbrush. So outside, it's much less effective inside, but you can still try.
Yeah.
So outdoors, halflings are difficult to spot, have only a 10% chance of being detected outside. Even in dungeons, there's a 1/3 chance a halfling will not be seen in normal light if the character finds some kind of cover and remains absolutely quiet and still. So it's not, I mean, it's normal light for the hobgoblins because they can see in the dark. So
and just to clarify, like what had happened is that the bring the map up for me. Is that they'd come through one way and I'd like slip back through the other doors.
Yeah. So you were trying to hide long enough to get away, right? To like
I was trying to like hide long enough that I could like get into that top room and like
and flee from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just cutscene back and forth. We'll get the Shadow and Nimith to do a thing, and then we'll get Thistle to do a thing, and we'll go back and forth and see what happens. Mm-hmm. So the first thing, really, the ultimate fate of Thistle. So there were only 2 hobgoblins left after that fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 2 remaining hobgoblins would have been the chief and one of his was it one of his warriors or one of the archers? Let me see.
I don't know.
I'm gonna take a quick look because I still have the combat map here. It was one of the archers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he had like picked up his sword.
So
midway
one of the
through.
hobgoblins guards and one of the chief. So they return to the room in which you are hiding, and let's see if they find you. So what does it say? A roll of 1 or 2 on a d6 means they don't find you. You want to roll that d6 for me?
I don't want to.
I mean, I can roll it for you if you want.
Yeah. So I'm looking.
I'm just checking to see if there's a.
Unless there's a rule, I'll do it.
There's no specific roll, so
do
just
it if I have to
just
do
roll a d6, and you want a 1 or a
Like
2.
when there was that 10%, the 5% chance, and then they totally were just like zoom.
Yeah, they have a halfling
I have
detector.
good luck at hiding.
Godspeed, little halfling.
I'm getting. And it's just a D6, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, 1d6.
Fuck!
So you're hidden. You
Don't
remain
find,
you
right?
remain
Wow.
hidden. That's the good one. You wanted a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
So
I'm still in it.
yeah. So
It was really tense.
we don't. I mean, I guess like you can't see them, and you speak Gobblish, but not Hobgoblin, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you can understand bits and pieces of their guttural tongue as you hide in the dark, and yeah, you hear the door slam open and the like clattering of the chieftain's armor. All you can smell is like the blood and like viscera that have been spilled in this room, some of which belonging to your friends.
Some of which belonging to me.
Yeah, exactly. Some of your blood. You're like staunching a wound, hiding in the dark, and they seem to walk right past you, and you can hear them like the orc chieftain mostly like shouting at the hobgoblin chieftain shouting at the other hobgoblin like about something. You catch like find them. You catch something about like the others, and it seems like the hobgoblin is trying to like give orders for this other guard to like go and do something. Occasionally, also you hear the squawking of Chunk's traitorous parrot, who is now hanging out with the hobgoblin chieftain.
Dang.
Yeah, Crackers, the hated traitor Crackers. He's turned and become property of the hobgoblin chieftain. So so you remain hidden and await your opportunity to flee.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. So meanwhile, Nimith and the Shadow, what are you two gonna do? You stand outside the room in the armory, bristling with weapons. What do you want to do?
Hightail it out of here.
Yeah, it's just time to run for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me take a quick look at how fast you go if you're just like booking it and not being careful or slow.
I'm at full speed.
Yeah, because you're gonna the Shadow. You will leave Nimith behind quite quickly. So 120 feet around if you just run for it. So let's see. And Nimith, you're in plate armor. Oh no, that's you. That's 120 feet for Nimith. The Shadow. That's your movement rate for running. Oh no, I think Nimith yours isn't filled out, right? Because it should be much slower than that. It's dependent on your armor and how much coin worth of stuff you're carrying. Let me take a look. Your weapons and equipment.
I have like 740 coins worth of weight on me.
Yeah, so you're wearing plate armor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, your normal move is 30. So yours should be 30 normal move, 10 encounter or combat, 30 running.
Is that weight including the weight of your armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm under my encumbrance of 800.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you how many coin plus your armor do you have? You have 700, you said?
Including armor.
Including my armor, I have 700.
Right, or metal armor. Yeah, okay. So Or metal armor and carrying treasure. Yeah, so I was right. Yeah, 30, 10, 30.
Yeah.
And then for you, Dave, you have what, leather armor?
Mm-hmm.
And how much coin do you have? Like 300 or something, I think.
Yeah, it's less than 400. I've not updated it in a little while. But
Okay,
it's definitely
so
less than
leather
400.
leather armor, you're 90, 90, 30, 90. So running 90 feet. You're running a lot faster than Nimith, like 3 times faster. So this should be 90 for you. So normal movement, yeah, 90, 30, 90. Okay. So, cool. So, the Shadow, are you slowing down to keep Nimith in your sights, or are you just gonna run for it?
So I think I start just like totally booking it. Now I look down and look back and see that Nimith is like lagging behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I like turn round with the torch and like look at Nimith and just like see how they are doing in terms of like expression and
Yeah, he's like very stone faced and just like hustling. You
yeah,
can tell
I
he's
guess
already like plotting revenge. Just like, we will be back. Kill all of you assholes.
yeah. So I make sure that I run outside. I think, or the plan is to still run as fast as possible outside, so I'm not at a disadvantage with light.
Mm-hmm.
But then I will wait for Nimith.
Okay, so your intent is to get to that exit there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's no problem. You get outside, and then wait long enough for Nimith to catch up. So Nimith, it takes you, let's see, 1, 2, it takes you 3 rounds. So that's... Okay, so you get to the edge. You emerge out onto the burnt hillside. Because if you remember, there's like right outside the door, there's the nuclear explosion. There's the like divot with like hobgoblin bodies scattered about, and you can see from here the rest of the landscape, the trees swaying gently in a cold breeze, and the sort of eerie still of the outside of the caves as compared to the melee you were just a part of. What now?
We don't see anything like out of the ordinary or like different to how we left it.
No, I mean it's nighttime. So you just see the like moonlight from above through the clouds, and just the trees and the hillside. Everything is calm.
So the Shadow will turn around to Nimith and say, I don't know that we can sleep, or like that I'll be able to sleep tonight anyway. Should we just continue back to the keep?
Yeah, Nimith is like clutching his, I guess he's got his bow and he's kind of like leaning on it to catch his breath. And he's just like, no, we press on.
Yeah, like...
And he starts to like walk towards the road.
Okay.
No plans to camp. We just want to go straight back to the keep.
Okay.
Deal with exhaustion later.
All right. So the chaos gods are merciful to you, and you encounter nothing between the exit of the keep and the road. We'll check back in on you in a second to see how you fare to get home. Meanwhile, Metal Gear Thistle, I'm gonna grab a token for you. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna be so bummed if I survive this cave and yet somehow end up with none of the XP from like killing 30 hobgoblins.
Well, you'll get your share if you return.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I changed my alignment to neutral, and that's probably the only reason that like Nimith still has 1 hit point on the way home.
Oh my god, really, Dave? Come on.
You changed your alignment to neutral, but you totally stole stuff off my unconscious body after that, so whatever.
What? No, wait. That's not true. That was before.
No. Nope. Because
you stole the ring after you changed your alignment.
by witnessing a terrible cult ritual, I hid in a dungeon and then was taken prisoner, and then you found me in the dungeon and looted my unconscious body.
She's right, you know.
I am right.
That's
I
fine.
am right. So.
It's fine.
Which is fine.
We're all friends here.
I'm not
but-
saying.
All right, little turnips.
I'm just saying, like,
I probably actually wouldn't. That would.
So-
Not if it was just like XP kills. If you had a bunch of gold, maybe. I don't know.
So Thistle, your ability to hide remains only so long as you are totally still and unmoving. What do you want to do? Like, how long do you wait? Like, basically, here's what happens, and you can tell me if you want to act. But so the hobgoblin, interrupt me if you're like, nope, now it's time to make my move. So
I want to ask a quick question,
Sure, yeah.
actually.
yeah.
Is it possible to stay still long enough that I totally heal all my wounds?
No, you have
Okay.
to be able to relax. There's an emotional component of that. You can't like lie totally still in abject terror for 8 hours and also.
I just thought it was
it's a valid
worthwhile to check.
question. That's
Just
fine.
checking.
gotta
Okay,
get every
continue on
advantage.
with my terrible life.
Yeah, so like in the moments of silence, every sound is like deafening. Like like a drop of your blood falls from like the tip of your nose and splatters on the floor, and you swear it sounds like a hurricane. But so the hobgoblin's like shouting at the guard, and after a brief argument, you hear the guard's footsteps, and then the door near you opens. And you hear the guard leave, and you can hear the door like creaking as it starts to swing shut. It's definitely the door closest to you, and then you just hear the breathing of the hobgoblin chieftain, just like. So you hear him like slump down, maybe in a like big chair. Like actually, you hear the chair get dragged out from one of the piles they'd put it in, and then like thunked onto the floor. You hear him like chunk down into it, and then you hear him like breathing, and he's like kind of like grumbling to himself.
He seems awake.
I mean, hard to tell. You don't.
Well,
know
he's grumbling to himself.
Oh yeah, while he's
It
speaking,
isn't-
yes.
Yeah, it isn't like
Did he get injured?
it isn't like snoring. Or like.
Yeah. And he's breathing like you can hear his breathing's like a little labored because he's like slightly injured, but he seems to have sent his guard off on an errand and is just like resting now.
Man, I wish I could see in the dark. That'd be great for me. Now is probably as good a time to flee as any. Because there's only one of him, but I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, and so my plan had been to hide close to the door if possible. If there was no pile of stuff there, then I hid wherever there was a pile of stuff to hide in. But am I actually like relatively close to the door?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. When I hear the so when that guard was leaving, is it possible that I could like creep over to the door and like stick a foot in it or something to stop it from closing completely?
Yeah.
And then like try to sneak through it and just like let it creak the rest of the way closed? That's what I'm gonna try to do.
Okay.
Clank, clank, clank.
In your plate armor.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Well, yeah. I mean,
Alright.
what can I do?
So, keeping in mind that you're a halfling and like sort of more naturally inclined to sneakiness, but that you are wearing plate armor and you are moving, you're breaking your stealth. I'll roll to see if he notices you.
Hoping he's preoccupied with being injured and thinking about chieftainly things.
Okay. I think that so you get your foot in the door before it closes. You like squeeze through. The door clicks shut behind you, and that's when you hear the chieftain on the other side be like, "Rah," and like you hear him stand up.
Cool. I'm gonna feel my way. I've been in all of these rooms now, so I want to feel my way along the wall.
Okay.
Do I want to go back where I know where I'm going? Probably, because Otherwise, I'm just running around a dungeon in the dark that I can't see through.
I mean, you could always light a torch and run for it, but
It's true. I could. That might actually be the best idea.
but remember, you're wearing plate armor, and
I
he'll run
know.
faster than you.
I know. Let me just check what all I have. Okay, I do have both a tinderbox and torches, so that is at least an option.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, this is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it. This isn't a wise character, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like this is what I should do, and I know she's got a wisdom of like 5, so this is definitely going to happen. So instead of going through one of these doors, like feeling along to one of the doors, she's going to go to the hallway up above.
Okay. All right.
Oh, excellent.
So how are you gonna get there? Are you gonna run like straight for the wall and turn and like follow that wall that's ahead of you? Because you come out and there's the door, and on your right there's the wall. Are you gonna just like follow that wall?
Yeah, I think that initially her plan is like, I gotta get to the door, and she like feels along the wall and like feels that door at the bottom there, but gets to the edge of the wall and then is like, no, I should run into the dungeon. And then just like books it up along that wall.
It sort of worked last time.
Follow this wall. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you can move. The hobgoblin chief isn't like running after you, and you're running as fast as you can in the dark. So it's like he's got to get to the door, open the door. You can move like 30 feet if you're moving slow. So yeah, okay. I need you to make a dexterity check when you get here, though.
Okay.
The great thing is you're exploring, but it's in the dark.
I karate chop another hobgoblin in the face. I don't know when I learned karate. I did. So I'm just rolling dex.
How many hit points do you have?
1.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
As I was gonna say before, but then I was cut off by my
Trap.
every 20-minute,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm pretty sure 10 of us entered the dungeon at the beginning of last session, and 3 are still alive, and we each only have 1 hit point.
Welcome to Dungeon Dome.
So
10
Yeah.
PCs, 10 PCs enter, 3 PCs
does
leave.
the shadow have more than 1?
Yeah, but you and I both have only 1.
Yeah, which is significant out of 7. Cool. So I'm just rolling dex.
Yes, please. Let's do a dexterity check.
Okay.
This all.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Okay.
that-
So you turn the
that's
corner, you're
weird.
going as fast as you can with your hand on the wall, and you hit like a lip or a ledge or something, and you like stumble forward. You don't fall and like hit your head on the stairs, which would have killed you. But you like fall on your knees and manage to pick yourself up. There's an ascending staircase ahead of, or a descending staircase ahead of you. So you like stumble and like kind of windmill
But I don't
your
fall
arms.
down the stairs.
But don't fall down the stairs. Yeah.
I hustle down them on my butt.
So let me just draw in. So
I butt scooch these stairs as quickly as
because
possible.
this map drew the stairs on for me in the wrong direction. Like it looks like they're based on the way they draw stairs. It looks like they're supposed to be going up, but I know that they lead to a lower level.
Yeah, weird.
So the stairs go up this way. So you don't trip over the top of a stair. You take a step into the darkness and like flail your arms a little bit, and then manage to like stop yourself before you fall forward down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna you're gonna go down the stairs with one hand on the wall.
Yeah. Or like 2 hands on the wall.
Okay. So
Down the
all I'm gonna draw for you is the wall you're touching, because you don't
Great.
know like anything else.
Great.
You start making your way down the stairs, and behind you hear the like heavy breathing as the hobgoblin chief comes to the top of the stairs.
Oh no. Oh no.
And
You can see me.
yeah, and so these stairs, it's not like it's not shaped like the ceiling, and then the ceiling doesn't stay at the same level as the stairs drop out. It goes it's like a tunnel down, so he actually can't see. Like he leans and peers down the stairs, but it doesn't seem like he can see you. You reach the ending, and like you're at a corner. The hallway seems to curve. The hallway seems to curve here.
I go around the corner.
Okay, you gonna hook around the corner? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, you
Phew, I'm safe.
yeah, totally. You frantically like follow this wall as you hear the hobgoblin chief stalking behind you. And you hit a dead end. So you like follow along, and then suddenly poof, you hit a wall ahead of you, and you follow it to one side, and it hooks back in on itself. And it seems like you've reached the end of like a blocked hallway. There's just like a wall here.
Can I search it carefully with my hands in case there's like a secret door or something?
Searching for a secret door in the dark with just your hands.
Like I'm good at looking at things. Come
Why
on.
don't you roll like a 1 in 100?
I mean, you know,
What
let
if
me
it's
let
not
me
a
look at let me
secret
see
from
if
this
let me
side?
see if the
What if it's way obvious from this side?
let's see.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Because they
Secret
have
doors are
been
often really
they have been
clear to
operated
ones.
like that, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, make a regular like find secret doors check.
I really want to find the secret door that's right there.
Yeah.
P.S.
Detect secret doors. I mean, your character doesn't know where you are, but Hillary, as a PC, you know there's a pretty good chance this
Yeah.
is not just a fucking wall.
Okay, I'm a failure though.
But Thistle's just like frantically like wiping the wall down with her hands, and you can't find.
Yeah,
anything.
I was hoping it was going to be one of the ones that we encountered before where it's like completely invisible from one side, but just like a handle on the other side.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is all just by touch. Like, it might be that if you
Yeah.
had light, you wouldn't even had to roll.
Yeah.
But in this case, yeah, you're just like, oh no, oh god, and you can hear the heavy booted footsteps of the hobgoblin like coming down the stairs.
I'm going to fumble and like not light a torch, but just like flint off from my tinderbox to try to get enough light to like see the end of the hallway here.
Okay, so with just sparks. Okay.
Yeah, or like, yeah. I don't want to light I don't actually want to light a whole torch. I just want to like get a little thing and like enough to like get a glimpse of it.
Okay, let's I'll roll to see if the hobgoblin chief notices the sparks. Okay, so there's like again like every sound, your own hard breathing, the like snickering of the flint just sounds like so loud. And you you flick it and you can see there's this like wall, and I think with like a little bit of the light, you can see that. Yeah, there's like a plate, like a section of the stone wall that's like an obvious switch. You just couldn't feel it because it's flush with the wall. But yeah, if you push it, something will likely happen.
Something
want
will
to.
happen.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Okay. All right. So you give it a push.
Thistle and the bad choices. Come on, come on.
Okay, so you give it a push, and the door, like the wall, you hear a click, and the wall swings open, and there is indeed a secret door here, and it opens up into the room in the goblin lair. I guess you don't really see it, but you like smell. I mean, you're a thistle. You're a turnip's worth. You know what food smells like. You can smell the familiar like sort of rotting grain smell of a mistended storeroom.
Could you give me the last two things you said? Sorry, I had my.
It's okay.
So regularly
you push the
scheduled.
door open, stumble into a room, maybe trip over like a sack of grain, and you can you smell that the room is different. You can smell the like food stuff, the like stale wine. It's like I said, the smell of a storeroom that has not been tended properly and that like rats have gotten into.
Okay.
Oh
man, but I'm friends with the rats.
The rats. That's a different clan of rats, and they're up north.
Well, at least I've already made friends with rats previously. I'm just saying.
Okay, so let's see. It's been long enough that I need to make a check. Okay, the room is empty. And
I don't want to random encounter some shrews in the dark.
exactly, you just get shrewd.
Wow.
Okay,
God.
so you stumble into this storeroom. You hear the click of the door shutting behind you. I think that I guess at this point the hobgoblin would come around the corner, and you hear him muted through the wall, Yeah, you hear him like his footsteps a few steps forward, and then like a grunt, and then you can basically understand it because he speaks. It's the phrase is close enough in Gaulish, but he basically is like, "Huh, must have been my imagination," and then you hear him like turn around and like walk away.
Brum, 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 brum.
Okay.
Brum, brum, brum.
Oh my god. All right.
Thistle snake turnipsworth.
Oh my god.
Cool. Okay, so I mean, if Dave and Andrew, if you're okay with it, we can stick with Thistle until maybe Thistle gets out of the dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Y'all
that's
don't mind?
Yep,
Okay.
You know exactly what we want to do.
So Thistle, it's dark as fuck in here.
I'm gonna just like I don't want to just like walk blindly, so I'm gonna pick a wall and follow it around.
Okay, left or right?
I've been sticking with right, so I'll just take the right still.
Okay, all right. So it's gonna take you.
Is there anything that I like? Are there any? I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that halflings have a really good scent memory because we fucking love food and shit.
Sure.
So, is there anything that I like recognize about this room, or anything that like feels familiar about it?
Make an intelligence check.
At least I'm more intelligent than I am wise.
I mean, whatever. You're totally safe. You got away from the hobgoblin chief, so you should just light a torch and run full speed up.
Yeah, run out screaming, "I'm free! I'm free!"
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think
Okay.
maybe like you're trying to like rack your brain. You're like, God, I've smelled this before, but like it won't. Yeah, you can't use it to
Yeah.
help you figure out where you're at.
Okay.
So you start to make your way around the room, and it takes you quite some time because you have to climb over like barrels, and you keep like
I
stumbling
think
over
I'm gonna
things
get
in the
like
dark.
halfway. If it's taking a really long time, I'm gonna get halfway around and be like, "Fuck this," and light a
Okay.
torch.
Okay, so you get to about here.
Yeah.
And then, you just light a torch.
Yeah.
And after your eyes adjust to the sudden bright orange glow, you can see, crates. You frighten a bunch of cockroaches. They like scatter. And you can see a bunch of kind of damaged crates and boxes, some wine casks. And you recognize this from earlier, from the whole like torch thing. And once you put the like memories together, you can kind of smell like the like burnt scent of like the air from the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm familiar with the rest of this dungeon because I've been back and forth through this part.
Yeah.
So I want to get the fuck out of here.
That's a good
My
plan.
plan.
Okay, so are you, as Andrew said, are you running at full speed, or are you gonna like carefully make your way up?
Now that I have a torch, like any surprise element or hiding is gone, so I might as well just run.
You're just gonna hustle. Okay, so what's
Yeah.
your running movement rate?
Oh, not good.
In plate armor, it's like 30, I think.
Yeah. Running. My running was 60 last time I checked.
Yeah. It's double your normal move. So okay, let's see how far it is. So here you go. 70, 100, 160, 190, give or take, 230, 250, 330, 340, 380, and so for about 410 feet between here and there. You can cover 60 turns. Someone who's better at math is probably already doing this for me.
7 turns.
Thank you. Okay, so 7 turns with a check every other turn. So let's see what happens. Okay, so you get halfway, which I guess would be. Let's take a look.
In the big room.
Yeah, kind of into the big room here.
Had that goblin massacre.
Yeah. Okay, so you come into the room.
Actually, this is the part that I
Come on, Jerry.
I was actually an unconscious prisoner in this room over here.
That's right. Yeah.
So I actually didn't go into this part. That part was all new for me. I just remembered that I was actually unconscious for that.
Okay, so you come around the corner, and this room, this is where the big like war. This was where the little goblin war happened, right?
Yeah.
So you come around the corner of the room, holding your torch up, and you see like goblin bodies lying, rat chewed on the ground, and and again you like startle some scavengers, maybe some rats, some roaches, whatever, like flee. And I think that when you come into the room, I gotta roll something here. Let's see how far away this thing is.
This thing, I'm not stoked about that.
Okay, so you come into the room, and there are I guess what you see, like a sort of vaguely kind of like furred like shape. It's about the size of like a football. There are actually two of them. You see them move. You realize there's actually two different ones. You see them move, and one of them lifts its head, and it has this sort of vaguely like somewhere between like a bat and a mosquito like face. It's like furry, but it has like insectoid eyes.
And leathery wings?
And yeah, like a set of 4 like wings like emerge from its back and like flap a little bit, and it slides this like long, sharp proboscis out of one of the goblin's bodies. And then you see the other one do the same, and it like flaps its wings, and they start to emit an irritated whining buzz. What do you want to do?
I want to keep running.
You're just gonna run for it?
Where are they in the room?
They're at the far end of the room. They're like basically as far from you as can be.
Well, I want to keep running towards the exit, and I'm gonna yell probably while I do it.
Okay, so you want to? Are you trying to?
I want to be threatening.
Yeah, you want to try to frighten them. Okay.
So they're like, "Oh man, I just want to stay in this other corner until this thing is gone, and I can eat more sweet goblin bodies."
Okay, all right.
I have this really hard carapace. They don't want me.
Make a reaction check. You're attempting to frighten them.
Yeah.
Waving your torch.
Got this, Thistle.
Yeah. And if there's an option for a modifier, you can take a +1 because the torch is helpful and you're shouting and banging it on your shield. Let's see, how did you do? 10? Awesome. Okay. So 10 on a counter reaction is monster leaves or considers offers. So you frighten the Sturges as you like run through the room screaming, waving your torch. I mean, if there are any goblins around, they'll definitely notice. But instead of like seeing you as prey, the Sturges see you as a threat, and they like move out of your way as you barrel through.
Good. That's what I wanted.
Okay. So you have one more turn or 2 more turns worth. You emerge from the cave out into the wild. You've frightened off the Sturges. I'm going to make a note that Thistle specifically to Sturge, just in case you do manage to get back alive.
In the unlikely event that you should return to the keep, you'll be awarded.
Okay. So you emerge from the doorway, and
are immediately killed by an owlbear. Well, that was fun, everyone.
Then and then let's see what you encounter.
Is there really an owlbear? I'm just checking.
That would be really funny in a terrifying way.
In a bad way that I wouldn't actually want.
Okay, hold on.
What? That face. I know
it's an excited face. Okay, so you've been in the dungeon for like a couple of hours, total, like wandering around. You have no idea where your friends are, and I love this game. So you emerge from the entrance of the dungeon, and you see like, your sweat and blood are like dripping into your eyes. You stagger out of the entrance, and you hear a voice. You hear like a familiar, sort of a familiar sounding voice say, Thistle, is that you? And you like blink the sweat from your eyes, and you can see in the moonlight there's like a dozen. At first you think they might be goblins. There's like a dozen sort of short, humanoid forms. You can see the glint of steel in their hands, and then you realize that no, it's not. It's a group of a dozen halflings. Many of them turnipsworths, who've come looking for their cousin, and so when they see you, they like one of them like runs over and like grabs you in a hug, and another one immediately is like, we have to get you out of here, and they're like they like hustle you away to the road.
Yeah, rescue party.
That was so good.
Yeah, like I rolled
Thanks,
in the
random
random
encounter
encounter.
table.
I rolled in the random encounter table, and I got halflings. So I was like, well, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
All right, so Thistle, thanks to your good luck, if you want, they'll just take you back to the keep, and we can cut to there.
Yes, I want.
For you. But meanwhile, let's see how the shadow and our remaining elf Nimith make out.
If I'm keeping
let's
up
see how
with
they-
Nimith moving really slowly, can I do it moving silently?
Because move silently, what do we say? It's like half your.
Yeah,
half your
it still covers it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably have to separate yourself from Nimith, but yeah, you can be in like Nimith is out on the road, and you're all like,
Shadowing me.
yeah.
I'll be like, you're injured. Just keep going. I'll scout out for things. So hopefully I can find them before they stumble.
So I can
upon us.
drink this invisibility potion when they attack and flee. Okay. All right. So
No.
if
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
know what
idea.
this means.
Nimith is just like, fine, human. All right. Let's take a look at the. We'll jump back to our beautiful world map here. So you start to make your way back to. Let's see, you're up here. Start making your way back to the keep. So let's see. The first day, the first 8 hours of travel. They pass by. You move through the night. It's slow going. It's relatively dark. And I think that you see coming up the road as dawn comes a pair of figures, stout, broad-shouldered, wearing armor, and carrying weapons and like backpacks, but not holding their weapons out. You see them through the sort of misty early morning light. What do you want to do?
I think we try diplomacy. I think we try and talk to them.
So are you going to stay hidden? Are you off the road, Shadow? So it's kind of Nimith's call if you want to stay hidden. Like, what do you want to do, Nimith? Because the Shadow, I guess.
Yeah, isn't around.
First things first. When you spot them through the fog, they are. Let's see, times 10. They're only 40 feet, so it must be really misty in the woods. So about 40 feet away, they start to. Yeah, you probably see that they stop. Like one of them puts his hand on the other, and they stop, and you stop. The Shadow. Can you make a stay? Whatever you're hidden, you're hiding shadows, hide in mist.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the fog and stuff, I'll give you a 30% bonus. It's gonna be pretty easy for you. You got trees, you got fog.
No.
Ooh, they spot you. These are sharp-eyed folk.
Oh, by 2% as well. No.
So I guess they call out to you. One of them calls out. He's like, "You there? Come out of the woods."
I'll shout back, yes, yep. I'm coming out into the open. I'm armed, but
Okay.
I'm
So
not
the other says, "Is that an elf?" And then they suddenly. Do you speak? Do either of you speak Dwarvish, or Dwarven, or whatever we call it? Nimith, do you speak the language of the dwarves?
Sorry, let me see where all this. No, I do not.
Okay, so they speak to each other in a language that sounds like rocks being rattled around in a bag, and then they start to approach, and one of them, you can start to see their features emerge. So there's a younger one. They're both dwarves. Their gender is impossible to discern because they're dwarves. And they come towards you. One of them was wearing like quite hefty like plate armor with a big bucket helmet. That one's got a shield that they're like got on their arm, and they've got a mace in one hand, and the other has a beard almost down to their knees that's like it's gray and like knotted in all these like intricate patterns. That one's wearing like a shining chain shirt, and has a battle axe. And the two of them, they're approaching cautiously. They seem definitely like a little unnerved. And when you recognize that they're dwarves, you see the Greybeard squint hard and look at you, Nimith, and say, and you don't speak Dwarvish, but you know the Dwarvish racial slur for elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he like mutters under his breath, but loud enough for you to hear it, kind of stage whispers.
Typical dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nimith just like has dealt with so much more real problems than these kids. He's not worried.
He's like, you can't see his like disapproving glance through all like the blood that's like
Yeah.
He's too hardcore. You can't tell how upset he is.
So do you say anything, or do you let them make the first move?
I'll just be like, I think Nimith is just like, what news on the road?
Make a reaction check for them. We'll see how this starts. Let's see their initial feelings towards you. They're suspicious now, but let's see. Nice.
Easy.
Nice work.
I think it's just my like badass stoicness.
So maybe they didn't.
I'm just like all business.
Maybe they didn't recognize. Recognize that you were injured right away. I think that's what really enthusiastic friendship. That's what really like changes their mind. And the Greybeard. So the Greybeard like makes the curse when they recognize that you're an elf. The other one says in common, so you can understand. Grandfather, I think they're hurt. And the Greybeard is like, quiet. And like goes to like hold his hand up, and the one in the armor like pushes past him, and she kind of like waddles towards you, her armor like clattering, and she like looks up at you and like is pulling her helmet off, and she's like, what happened to you? Are you injured? And like and then she's like, of course you are. I'm sorry, and like pulls her pack off and is like digging through it.
And Nimith is just like puts his hand out. He's just like, it's fine. Don't trouble yourself.
She shakes her head. She says, No. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. And she's like holding like some bandages, and she's like, she puts out her hand, and she's like, I'm Clunk. That's my grandpa, Grump.
Nice. And just like, Clunk.
She nods.
And Nimith.
She shakes her hand. She's like, I only ever met one elf before. She kind of like looks at the ground, and then you hear like a grumbling from Grump. He's like, and then she kind of like whispers to you. She's like, he doesn't like elves much. See, that's why we're here. My cousin ran off with an elf.
Your cousin.
She nods. Yeah. His name was Chunk. He was a bit of a weirdo. I mean, nobody was really surprised when he left the village, but she like shrugs. We came looking for him.
Yeah, I audibly sigh like from behind as I'm walking out of the woods.
Clunk, you need look no further. You have found the carriers of his memory.
She like looks at you, like a single stony tear like slides down her cheek. She's like, What do you mean?
And I like lean on Clunk and start like limping back towards the keep or whatever. And
so the Greybeard like gets in your way, and he's like, oh no you don't. And she like pushes you, and he's like, what did you mean by that, long ears? Where's my nephew?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Did you say that? You say he's dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
All right, so
In the
he
caves.
he like tries to grab your like your collar of your armor, but he can't reach. So he just kind of like grabs you by the hips, like pulls you down to him, and like sneers like right in your face. And he's like, "What happened to Chunk?"
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I just say, oh,
Shot it in the back, didn't you? I forgot.
we were beset by many hobgoblins, and he fell. Only myself and the shadow made it out alive.
And he looks at you, the shadow, and he says, "Is what this long ear says true? Is he dead?"
Yes, he's dead.
And he kind of like you can see like a twitch in his eye. And he like
I
lets go of
will
Nimith.
not look him in the face. I'm just like, no, not even close.
So he lets go of Nimith and like falls to his knees with like a clattering of his armor. He throws his axe aside. He like pulling in his beard and he's like, "Chunk!" And he like hammers the mud and he like looks up and he's got like mud splattered on his face. And he shakes his head and he says, "Who did this? Who did this to my wee Chunk?"
Did I catch the Hobgoblin Chief's name? Because I speak Hobgoblin.
No, I don't think he was ever. They just called him Chieftain.
Yeah. Honestly. The chieftain of the Hobgoblins. Chunk fell fighting bravely against him. He was a stalwart companion.
And he stands up and he like grabs his axe up out of the mud and like mud's like dripping from it. And he looks over at Clunk and he's like, "Come on, girl. We're gonna go kill some hobgoblins." And he like pushes you, just like push you out of the way. And he's like, "Out of the way, long ears."
Whoa. Good Sir Dwarf. We entered those caves with 10, including Chunk, as brave and stalwart as he was. By yourselves, that's certainly a suicide mission.
So he kind of like looks at you and in his rage and bloodthirst, he's like, "Ha! 10 of you. You only had one dwarf. There's 2 of us. We're worth at least 100 men apiece." And like Clunk is looking at him like, "No, please, no."
And I think Nimith will just try to like appeal to him and just like, "Please, friend, come with us to the keep. We will gather a party and we will return. We will retrieve Chunk's. We will avenge Chunk and retrieve him from the dungeon."
And he shakes his head. He's like, "What do you know about vengeance, elf? This is a dwarf cause now." And he like looks up at the ominous hillside where you've come from, and he looks at Clunk, and Clunk is like, "Grandfather, perhaps we should return to the mountains to get our brethren." And Grump like, shakes his head, and he's like, Aye. Cold vengeance is as good as hot." And he looks at you, and he's like, "Our business isn't done, elf. Once I'm done with my vengeance, I'll have words with you about the passing of my boy. Come along, Clunk." And Clunk looks at you kind of apologetically, like, "Sorry, dwarven grudge stuff, gotta go." And she throws you the pack of bandages that she pulled out, and she's like, "Well, good luck on the road. Sorry." And he Grump has already left. They've gone east into the woods.
All right.
Okay.
Most of are dead. That's great.
Yeah, so they're heading away. They're gonna go and get more dwarves ostensibly.
Which way are they
We
going?
need more dwarves.
Exactly. They're heading east into the woods this way.
In the same direction where those copper tanks came from?
No, the
Ish.
copper tanks were over. They were mining over here. Yeah, they were down this way near the mining trail.
Sorry, and which way did the... Oh, they went off this way.
Yeah.
I getcha.
Okay, so the shadow and Nimith have overcome. You've defeated 2 dwarves.
Yeah, like mechanically, if I bandage Nimith with the bandages they just gave him, is that going to do anything?
No, it was a gesture. They're not like magic dwarf bandages or anything.
Okay. I mean, we'll take the few minutes to do it anyway because
Yeah, totally.
don't want you
you know.
out on the trail back.
Yeah, you've already stopped, so your like fleeing momentum has stalled a little bit. So yeah, you take a second to rest. Okay, and then carry on to the keep.
That's the plan.
Okay, all right. Well, this is probably a good place to take our break, and then we'll catch up with Thistle and the dozen turnips worths, and the rest of the party when we return. Also, I cannot wait to see what Smirking Carlos has to say about all this.
Oh my gosh.
I will wipe that smirk off of his face.
It's funny. I was just looking
Good
over
woman.
this piece of paper that I have there that like has people crossed out and just still says Smirking Carlos on it. I just looked at this and was like, oh yeah, Smirking Carlos, that asshole. And then you're like,
Smirking Carlos.
Wonder what
aka
smirking Carlos will have to say.
Still living Carlos for now.
yeah.
All right, everybody. So stick around. We'll have more old school adventures after the break. See you in a bit.